Today, we will learn to use specific processes in your genealogy life so we can work smarter, not harder. I'm your trainer, Lori Coffey. I have spent a career training people on processes to improve their business work results. Let's look at the modern genealogical research method. Not too modern, it was invented by noted anthropologist William Rivers. This process looks for quality over quantity. Remember back when we just collected names, or as I used to say, dead people? How many times was it just wishful thinking that made them relatives instead of using complete and correct records? Do you extract and log circumstantial evidence when you don't have evidence of direct facts? Like a dozen professional researchers did when they were working to identify a pilgrim servant? If you've ever been distracted by a rabbit hole or a sixth cousin's wife's nephew's fascinating story, instead of finding the story on your third great grandmother, you probably need a planned research campaign. Building a research campaign is a four-step process, which starts with the times and location of the events. For example, searching for Mayflower pilgrims, the most researched people in the world will be very different campaign from searching for a Jewish family in France before World War I, or searching for an African-American family before the Civil War. The abundance of complete records changes dramatically with the times. Remember, the genealogical method supports tracing the history of an ethnic group. So you may have to start with researching world history before you can move on to the family's history. Then it's useful to review all the records that connect the two generations together. Is the evidence strong, or will you need to research more? What kinds of evidence is needed? Can you make a strong circumstantial case? Be sure to record the sources of the evidence so you and others can find them again. And check the family tradition story for proof before you confirm or gently deny it. I had to tell a coworker with the last name of Rolfe that he was not descended from Pocahontas, as the family name changed to Bowling, which I found easily on Wikipedia. So make sure you're doing your due diligence first. Always look for proof and follow the chain of proof, like that song, right? Chain, chain, chain. You know that one? Chain, chain. Okay. Like the chain of custody for legal evidence or proof. This is how to record the custody of physical evidence in legal cases. I'm not asking you to do this. Just see that if any link is broken in that chain, the evidence may become inadmissible in court. Preserving the chain of custody is about following the correct and consistent process, ensuring the quality of evidence. That's what we want, right? Quality over quantity. The best quality genealogical proofs are the vitals or life records. The ones most sought after are birth certificate, which also lists the parents, marriage certificate, which also lists the parents, death certificate, which also lists the parents. Do you see a pattern here? We create a chain of evidence between the generations. The goal is to answer the question, are these two people truly related? Record all the evidence you can. Work to build up that chain of evidence in which each link is strong enough to support the next. Most lineage societies, for example, require an official document for each generation, but sometimes we can't find an official record. It's simply not available. That's when indirect or even negative evidence reinforces non-official evidence in the chain. For example, add a note that he died after the 1910 census, where he is listed, and before 1913, when his wife's obituary said she was a widow. Now we have narrowed it to a 3-year window. That's considered negative evidence when we don't have anything.